Welcome to Your Yes Build Life. I'm your host, Brenda Winkle, educator, healer, speaker, guide, and fierce advocate for your yes. I help sensitive and successful men and women find, reclaim, and live from their full embodied yes. Through empowering you to understand your energetic hygiene, establish healthy boundaries, and heal your nervous system, you'll be able to create your yes-filled life and move through your days with more freedom, more ease, and more joy. You'll hear inspiring stories of people who found their full-bodied yes, thought leaders who pursued their own dreams and are living life on their terms, and learn new ways to find the courage, joy, ease, and freedom to more fully step into your yes-filled life. Say no to the good so you can say yes to the great. Join me on this journey to discover your yes-filled life. Whether you're looking to break free from the golden handcuffs, start a new business, find your dream job, or simply live with more intention and mindfulness, I've got you covered. Let's explore the possibilities together and make your dreams a reality. Ready? Let's do this. Let's get you to your yes-filled life. The energy has been kind of wild this week with Mercury retrograde, the eclipse over North America, a new moon, and really so much more is happening. So, if you have been really noticing a shift in your energy, that's because the eclipse window is inviting us into a new beginning, a new chapter. And I am excited to support you in this by offering a free masterclass with Breathwork on April 12th from 9 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific called Your Next Chapter: Navigating or Creating Change. In this free masterclass, you'll get to immerse yourself in a deeply healing breathwork session. You'll learn my 7-part framework for navigating and creating change. You'll learn strategies to find peace and calm when there are big changes or even chaos around you. You'll find ways to reclaim your power when you feel afraid or out of control. You'll experience how you can shift your perspective to feel better fast. You'll learn how to stop feeling bad for wanting or not wanting the change that's happening around you. And you'll find ways to find and listen to your inner voice. This free masterclass with Breathwork is for you if you are a gifted, intuitive, creative person who's ready to step into her third, fourth, or fifth act. You desire to understand and be deeply understood by yourself, others, and the world. It's for you if you want to turn your intuitive nature into a gift, even if you've been told that it's silly, weird, or that you've just been oversensitive. This is for you if you're willing to let go of feeling bad and self conscious for wanting what you want, even if you aren't sure how to let it go. This is for you if you're ready to remember who you are and help others do the same because you know you have a calling, even if you aren't sure what it is yet. This is for you if you want to help others not suffer the way you have. And this is for you if you're navigating or yearning for a change. Aging parents, the kids growing up, new babies in the house, the end of a relationship, wanting to date, a health scare that makes change necessary, wanting a career change or finding a new job, or creating something new for yourself, whether that's a book, a podcast, a new business, a new hobby, or maybe it's just a commitment to health. You can register by clicking the link in the show notes or going to brendawinkle.com/next chapter, all lowercase, all one word. Let's do this together and really start the next chapter in a powerful way with breathwork and a masterclass with the community of your yes filled life. Hello, and welcome back to Your Yes Filled Life. I'm your host, Brenda Winkle. Today on the podcast, I am hosting my friend Caroline Gibson. Caroline and I met at Pause Level 2 Advanced Breathwork Training in August of 2023. And she is incredible. We quickly became friends, and our circles have continued to revolve around each other for the last several months, and I couldn't wait to introduce her to you. So Caroline Gibson is the company director of Gibson Hallmark Ltd, a chartered psychologist, trauma informed advanced breathwork facilitator, and equine therapist. She's worked in the private and public sectors for the last 20 years, specializing in business improvement, Six Sigma Black Belt certified, and individual performance coaching. She lives in the most beautiful part of the world, Tollymore Forest Park, with her amazing family and array of animals. She offers tailored, fun, luxury, high impact retreats and programs for those who want to transform their lives. She works with individuals, families, and corporate businesses. I can't wait for you to meet Caroline. So let's just dive right in. Caroline, I'm so excited to see you.
Thank you, Brenda. I'm excited to be here.
Oh my goodness. So we met in person at a breathwork retreat last August. And then since then, we've been kind of circulating in each other's worlds. And I just adore you. And I love the work that you're doing. And I'm so inspired by the way that you have created flow. And we'll talk more about that. But just welcome. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. For the listeners who may not have met you yet, could you tell us who you are and a little bit about the work that you do in the world?
Okay. My name's Caroline Gibson, and I am a chartered psychologist and trauma informed breathwork facilitator. I do a lot of transformational programs, leadership programs for the corporate world. I travel a lot, and it's very enjoyable.
I love it. So you were telling a story once in one of our shared groups about flipping through Instagram and seeing our mentor, Samantha Skelly. And you talked about how you had no idea who she was or what she offered, but that it transformed your life because you started to feel the energy and just flow with it. Would you mind sharing that story?
Oh, I can't believe you brought this up. Okay, so as nothing's off limits, yeah, so for me, Samantha Skelly, the little pocket rocket that she is, has been, to work with her has been transformational. She came into my life, at a time that I least expected it, and yes, I was flicking through Insta, and I seen Samantha, my volume was off. We were boarding a flight with my husband, and I seen her and she was just in pure energy and joy, and she was in her heart space, and she was just authentically having fun and being herself as we know she loves to do. And I just in that moment remember thinking, I want that. I whatever she's selling, I'm buying. And I didn't know what she was selling at that time. I didn't know her. And I said to my husband, "What do you think she's selling?" And I think he said, "She's selling her face cream. Has to be face cream." And Sam Skelly has good skin. So, yeah, there's a bit of that. And I just remember, like, making this promise to myself, like, whatever that girl's doing, it's working. I want some of that. And then as life, you know, often does, there was synchronicities, and I'd developed an interest in breath work, and a friend suggested her, and I booked a call. And I didn't actually really, I had no desire to become a facilitator at that time. I wasn't actually looking for a career, or, I'd taken a break from a career. Um, so yeah, it just led me down this path, and it's been a roller coaster. It's been fantastic. I head to New York tomorrow to deliver breathwork to a senior management team. I have 3 more corporate gigs after that, and it's very exciting. Yeah.
It's so exciting. And so the reason that that stands out for me is you followed the energy then,
Mm.
which says two things. There's two ways we can look at this. One is you followed the energy, which has unleashed a whole new thing for you. But the other piece is for the listener that's thinking, I don't know how to attract the people that I want to attract into my life, whether that is someone that is going to hire you for a job or a partner or a client. It's all energy.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. And I think as I've went through, from that experience, I do bring in and attract positive experiences, people who have that energy that I desire. The energy like when we spend time together, you and I were like, this is so much fun.
Yeah.
I tend not to spend time with people who leave me feeling a little bit drained or depleted. So yeah,
Mm,
life is beautiful when you follow the energy and the fun. And sometimes when you follow the energy, it doesn't make a lot of logical sense. As in, there was no real reason why I would desire to become a breathwork facilitator. There is
mhm.
now, but at that time, it made no sense. It was just pure fun and enjoyment.
Same. I mean, I kind of mocked breathwork facilitators before I became one because I was like, "That's a job. Like, seriously? That's a job someone gets paid to do? How do they do
Mm.
that?" And then I was like, "Oh, I want to be one."
And your breathwork sessions are insane. I love them. Yeah,
Thank you,
they're
thank you.
so good.
So
Mm.
there were 2 things that you said that I'd love to just pull the thread on. One is you said you don't spend time with people who drain you,
Mm.
and we'll come back to the second in just a minute, but was that something that you've always done, or was it something that you learned to do?
No, it's something that I learned to do, and I would say that you know and this can be painful. I would say over the last few years my like friendship circles have changed, those I spend time with. Sometimes people that thought, hmm, I'm not so sure about them, they've become quite, you know trusted and close friends. And there's people that I maybe spent time with that I just didn't overly enjoy their company, and they've got people that's better suited to them. So, yeah, I consciously make an effort to try and spend time with people I enjoy and doing things that I enjoy.
Mm, that resonates for me. You know, I the more work you do in energy, the more sensitive you become. And that works in 2 ways. It works so that we actually are able to pick up more when we're working with clients, but it also means that we have a lower tolerance for
Mm,
anything that doesn't feel good. And so, when I'm with somebody and I feel drained after being with them, I that's a no for me. Like I
mm,
just I don't feel like I have energy I want to burn on someone who's draining.
yeah. And when I do corporate groups and I hold breathwork sessions, I have some fantastic clients. I afterwards, like, I'm buzzing. I'm just like, that was so good. And my energy's, great. And my husband's like, please go to the gym. And I keep saying, I don't have a monopoly on happiness and joy. It's available to all of you. So yeah, there's a lot of fun had with it.
I love that. And one of the other passions that you have is around horses.
Yep, very much so. Um, my daughter show jumps and she loves to, yeah, she loves doing that. It's really a passion for her. It's a hobby gone a little bit mad, and we spend a lot of time we spend a lot of time traveling, and I keep her horses fit while she's at uni. I do a little bit of competing. I get some support for that. And it's good fun. We spent a good bit of time during COVID traveling, which is probably the least sensible time to travel, but but that's what happened. And it was beautiful. Yeah, it was a really enjoyable experience, and I think I found a lot of freedom, during COVID, um, and the freedom to do that. Yeah.
And you talk about using horses as part of transformation, like for equine therapy. Is that how you say it? Equine therapy?
Yeah, I've recently trained in equine therapy, and I'm starting to offer retreats whereby we combine breath work with the power of horses. And
Mm.
yeah, it's super special. Mm.
Yeah. So when we think about energy, there are a lot of things that I talk about for people, but like cats, for example, really absorb things from their humans. And so cats can be very healing because they can absorb any negative energies and transmute them into something better. And dogs are so loving, and they often offer companionship and raise the vibration in general because of their happiness. And
Mhm.
horses are known to be like the most sensitive in the
Mm,
entire animal kingdom and
yeah.
can offer tremendous healing, which I'm wondering, is that because of co-regulation? Because their nervous systems are larger than ours and perhaps more grounded, or how does that work?
Yeah, for sure, and I think also the horses using horses for therapy is it's so successful because the horses, they're calming, there's no judgment with them. They can express themselves in certain ways that give you that you relate to. It gives you messages. Um, People feel comfortable in that space. Yeah, so there's a lot of research and a lot of really good work done, especially where I train, which was over in Richmond. Um, and there's a lot of retreats that are doing beautiful work.
It's amazing. The other thing that we were talking about that I said I wanted to pull the thread on was you have fun. I mean, you have fun.
Mm,
Everything you do is fun. You laugh a
yeah,
lot.
I do.
And I'm wondering, is that part personality or is that something that you have come to embody?
No, I like to have fun. I like to laugh. I like to do things that are, that bring me joy. I hang out with people that bring me joy. I plan activities. I have a lot of fun things in my calendar. I have a lot of trips, some work trips, if you can really call them that. So yeah, I laugh a lot. I laugh at myself. I mean, I do stupid things as well, so there's plenty of opportunity. My family laugh at me as well. I like to joke about with my friends. Yeah. I think it's good. I think we need to there's not enough laughter in the world. Sometimes I think there's a lot of heaviness and yeah, I like to raise the vibration where possible.
Mhm. And seeing your results, it's working.
Mm.
So you graduated from the breathwork program in the last year, let's just say. It's not
Yep.
quite, and so you have completely created this new reality for yourself. And you it's so inspiring to watch you because you will just get a little idea in your head and the next thing you know you're like, "Oh, hey, now this is real. This is the thing." How do you do that? Because so many people are absolutely s stumped by how to create the things they really want, and you have a way of doing it that makes it look absolutely effortless.
Mm. I don't know if it's strictly me. So I have like a really strong faith and I feel that I get like God-given visions and that I have gifts that allow me to be able to fulfill what I'm essentially feel called to be here to do. Um, so yeah, that I feel really aligned with with the work that I'm doing. And I'll give you an example. I came home from we went to London, then we had Christmas, and then we went to Lanzarote. And I came home and I said to my friend, I think I'm going to take a little break from breath work. And I could see the pure like shock on her face. She was like, well, you love breath work, and I can people love having breath work with you, and it's going so well. And I was like, yeah. And I think I was just feeling a little tired that day. And then the next day, I got this most amazing opportunity, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And in order to do that, I need to book in all these sessions, and I'm going to hold groups, and it just all took off again. And she said, that was an interesting moment, don't you think? And I said, yeah, I think for a second, I just forgot what my purpose was, and I found that as soon as I connected back to that, all the energy came back and the enthusiasm and the passion and the love, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm back where I need to be." So for me to have that and to live like that, you need to have that vision of what you want to, where you're going, what you want to achieve, who you want to be, who you want to become. Yeah. Once you hold that, the journey becomes easy.
Mhm. I love this. I love
Mm.
this. And, one of the things that I actually had a conversation with somebody this morning about breath work. And so I'll leave some of the context out so that this person remains anonymous. But I'll just say that this person is doing a lot of research into trauma and that there have been some challenges in supporting the researchers so that they're not taking on secondary trauma. And I offered to support using breath work. And the response was, well, I have a lot of religious ideologies to balance in this group. So I don't think I can do that. And I thought to myself, oh, that's interesting that religion or ideology would come up when we're talking about breath work. And so I love that
Mm.
you brought up that you have this connection, this deep faith and
Mm.
centering on God and also use breath work. And so how do you braid that together in your own mind for the listener who's thinking, I think I'd like to try breath work, but I don't know if it aligns with my religious beliefs?
Yeah. Oh, I love this question. So I think for me, the breath work is very spiritual. And for me, breath work allowed me, I was busy. I was go, go, go all the time. I had no time. And you've kids and you've houses and you've trips and you're supporting your husband and life gets busy. And I never had the time until I started doing breath work to actually slow down and to slow down my thoughts and quieten that busyness. And that allowed me to connect, and it allowed me to connect with God on a level that I didn't actually think was possible. So for me, the breath work it's very spiritual, and it's been the vehicle that's allowed me to have that deep, intimate connection, to have that faith. And I mean, for breath work, I I offer that to anyone. I meet people where they're at, and but I also offer faith-based breath work for people um, who that's their thing. I feel sometimes in the self-development world that people are so concerned about offending or excluding or not aligning with absolutely every view that they become these sort of weak, watered down versions of themselves where they don't really know what they believe in anymore. Or
Mhm.
and yeah, I see that a lot, and I'm just like, no, well, for me, it's God, but whatever it is for you, I don't exclude anyone from breath work. I think it's beautiful, and one of the things I love about it is that it's ever present and it's so easily accessible.
I love that
A-
too.
And it's free. It's a God-given free gift.
Absolutely. And I
Mm.
absolutely agree that it has deepened my spiritual beliefs in
Mm.
in ways that I would never have predicted
Yeah.
because that was not what I was seeking. I just wanted to feel better. Like literally. I just wanted to feel better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So good. Thank you for answering that.
No problem.
So, when you lead corporate breath work,
Mhm.
there are many people, many corporations who I've spoken with that think that there's no space for that kind of thing in corporate. But you and I both believe that there's a space for everyone in breath work. What are some of the ways that you have been able to help corporate understand how they can fit breathwork into their wellness initiatives?
Okay. So for me, with the breath work, I work with HR departments, and very often their reasons for bringing in the breath work is because there's this realization that their employees are their most valuable resource, and they're really struggling, and they're struggling with, you know, people being off with stress, absenteeism, their sickness rates are high, and it puts pressure. The other thing is we know practice and breath work is that it allows us to develop our intuition. It allows us to achieve mental clarity, better focus, to make better decisions, to be more productive, to be happier, to earn more money. So it for me, it's a modality that HR departments and managers, I work with CEOs, I work with elite athletes. Um, it has benefits for everyone. And partly the workshops that I do, we have transformational experiences during those. But we also offer tools and techniques that the managers, the team can come and experience and then can take away, and they can employ those into their everyday life to achieve better to sleep, help them before their presentations, to help them before their meetings, to improve their customer relationships. So the breath work has been very successful in the corporate sphere for sure.
I
Mm,
love that. I love that. I found the
mm,
same thing when I've offered breath work to school communities, which I'm kind of moving away from a little bit, but in the same way, it enhances that performance aspect because it literally relieves and eliminates so much stress in the body and anxiety
yeah.
from the mind.
Yeah. For sure, and like I always say, I have 2 kids, Annie and David, and I always say to them, "Why don't they teach you something useful in school, like how to breathe and regulate your nervous system and connect better with yourself?" And they're like, "Yeah, that would be good, mom. That would be great."
You could do it.
I do. My daughter breathes with me, my son a little as well. So yeah, it's good.
Mhm.
It's become a family thing. Yeah.
That's so good. So,
Mm.
we were having a conversation earlier in the week, just connecting. And one of the things that you said really stood out to me. And you said something to the effect of, it's been very easy for you to attract the right kind of work.
Mm.
And I know that there's work on your end that has gone into making that a reality, starting with leading with your energy, making sure you're having fun, taking care of yourself, resourcing yourself. But there's a lot of listeners out there who are wondering, how do I create the abundance and the work environments that really light me up? And I wondered if you could talk a little bit about that experience. I know it's not as simple as being a process, but I know there's some things that you have done to create that.
So just to clarify, Brenda, you want to know how I've attracted the clients that I now work with?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
you do it in a way that is almost effortless by simply being the right person for the job.
Yeah. So I think there's two things. The first thing is that I decline the ones that aren't aligned. I think in this world, people feel a lot of pressure because they're like, I want to generate income. And if a client comes along, it's hard sometimes to say no because, sometimes we're a fear based society and we're like, what if I don't and what if I don't meet my monthly target, or what if there isn't another client? But I think by declining the clients that aren't aligned and the organizations that aren't aligned, you leave the space for the ones that are,
Mhm.
so there's that room. And then there's like, who would I most want to work with? Who will I most have impact with? I do a lot of charity work, which I really, really enjoy. And I feel I like to work and I attract those people who are going to make impact in the world. I attract clients who are actually ready to put the work in and turn up, commit, and want like long-term, meaningful, transformational change. Um, as opposed to just having a bit of a flirt with it. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's been powerful.
So I heard 2 really big themes. One is declining the things that are not aligned
Mm, yeah.
and being really clear about what it is you want.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that. And it seems almost too simple to work, but it really does. I
It
found that
really
in
does.
I
Yeah.
found that in my own business too, that the more I call in what I want and what I feel like I can really use for transformational healing for people, and I call
Mm,
in those clients, I feel like I get really good results. And the clients that um, aren't aligned, when I finally develop the courage to say, I don't think this is a fit. I think
mm,
that maybe this person over here might be a better person for you. It was amazing what happened in my own business.
yeah. I feel that. Yeah, for sure. It's because a lot of people they say yes to the things, and like we've talked about how I've said yes to things that have been really aligned, but it's being brave enough to say no to the things that aren't, and it's having the discernment to know the difference.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Does when you were starting this process, the energy has been kind of wild this week with Mercury retrograde, the eclipse over North America, a new moon, and really so much more is happening. So, if you have been really noticing a shift in your energy, that's because the eclipse window is inviting us into a new beginning, a new chapter. And I am excited to support you in this by offering a free masterclass with Breathwork on April 12th from 9 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific called Your Next Chapter: Navigating or Creating Change. In this free masterclass, you'll get to immerse yourself in a deeply healing breathwork session. You'll learn my 7-part framework for navigating and creating change. You'll learn strategies to find peace and calm when there are big changes or even chaos around you. You'll find ways to reclaim your power when you feel afraid or out of control. You'll experience how you can shift your perspective to feel better fast. You'll learn how to stop feeling bad for wanting or not wanting the change that's happening around you. And you'll find ways to find and listen to your inner voice. This free masterclass with Breathwork is for you if you are a gifted, intuitive, creative person who's ready to step into her third, fourth, or fifth act. You desire to understand and be deeply understood by yourself, others, and the world. It's for you if you want to turn your intuitive nature into a gift, even if you've been told that it's silly, weird, or that you've just been oversensitive. This is for you if you're willing to let go of feeling bad and self conscious for wanting what you want, even if you aren't sure how to let it go. This is for you if you're ready to remember who you are and help others do the same because you know you have a calling, even if you aren't sure what it is yet. This is for you if you want to help others not suffer the way you have. And this is for you if you're navigating or yearning for a change. Aging parents, the kids growing up, new babies in the house, the end of a relationship, wanting to date, a health scare that makes change necessary, wanting a career change or finding a new job, or creating something new for yourself, whether that's a book, a podcast, a new business, a new hobby, or maybe it's just a commitment to health. You can register by clicking the link in the show notes or going to brendawinkle.com/next chapter, all lowercase, all one word. Let's do this together and really start the next chapter in a powerful way with breathwork and a masterclass with the community of your yes filled life. Was there ever any part of scarcity that you had to work through when you were saying no? Because you've brought this theme up a few times now, because you talked about it in friendships that didn't feel aligned, in
Mm,
work that doesn't feel aligned. Was there ever a part of you that worried, what if I'm saying no to the wrong thing?
no, I don't think you can. I think you know. And I think I trust like my body, my intuition. I try not to let my mind get overly involved at this stage because your mind, and I can give you two examples. So I remember when you signed up for my breath work, and I was only in practicum at that stage, and I had this thought, oh my goodness, Brenda is so good at breath work, and I am like in training, and she's gonna hate my breath work, and at that time, I caught that thought, and like I'm a chartered psychologist, so I could give you loads of theories. I'm not going to. I just said to my mind, like, shut up. You don't get to be a part of this. Thank you for keeping me safe, but this is my gig and I want to do this. And we went ahead and had the most beautiful session,
Oh,
and
it was incredible.
yeah, and afterwards, I just went, "I'm so glad that I didn't let my mind get involved," and this has been a theme for me, when I went for the joined, Samantha's course, and I remember coming off the call, and my husband saying, "So, what are the details?" And I was thinking, "Details? If I'd asked any details, I think I wouldn't have signed up. I'd have scared the life out of myself." So I was like, I just said yes before I could change, before the details felt scary. So, and I think even when I think about the relationships I have, and the relationship I had with my husband, like when we first met, for both of us, I just instantly knew. I was like, that's it. I'm going to marry this man. And I
Mm.
remember coming home and my sister was there and I was like, oh my word, I just met the person I'm going to marry. And like she didn't say, I'm so happy for you. She said, have you hit your head? This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. You have been on one date, you know. So there's this thing about what society expects of us, and how we should behave, and how we should take our time, and how we should be analytical, and how we should think things through, and how we should get lots of different opinions, and there is a place for that, um but for me, it's time to follow your intuition.
Mhm.
And breathwork has allowed me to connect deeper with myself and establish that intuition to know which clients, to know which relationships, to know which events. And sometimes when something doesn't feel right in your gut and you're like, oh, I'm just not sure, listen to that, because it's the truth. It
Mhm.
always tends to, yeah, to be the case.
And you said something really important. You said, "When you feel that feeling in your gut,"
Mm,
and I wanted to just pull that thread, that the feeling that something's not right is not in your mind. It's not something you're thinking
yeah,
about. It's not the mind chatter of, "Oh, well, should I or shouldn't I? Or what's the pro con list?" It's a feeling deep in your body when you just
yeah.
know in your gut or you know in your heart that it's the right decision. I agree. That's how I make decisions too. So when it's like, when I say a full body yes, there's
Mm,
no part of my body that is in contrast. I'm not feeling any constriction anywhere. It's openness, it's expansion, it's energy flowing. Sometimes it's almost like a buzzing energy in my body when it's a full body yes. And then
mm,
if it's a no, I feel almost like I want to curl in around something. Like it's a no, like my shoulders are coming in and I'm bending over my belly and just like almost
mhm.
turning into a fetal position when it's a no. I'm not actually getting into a fetal position to say no, but that's the feeling in my body. How does
Yeah.
it feel in your body when it's a full body yes?
It feels exactly the same, as in there is no doubt. It's like, I'm gonna marry this man, I'm gonna have this client. It feels good. I think on the occasions where I knew that that person or that event wasn't my thing, the reason that I done that particular thing was to people please. Um,
Mhm.
so I'd be worried that, oh, if I don't go, it'll look bad, or you know, yeah. And I think there's reasons why people feel they can't follow their yes or their intuition. And for me, historically, it was the fear of disappointing others. Um, you know, and yeah, and that thing we have where we want to please people.
Oh, totally. I relate to that.
Mm,
When I
yeah.
was little, I've always had intuitive abilities, but I learned early on that I could really scare people if I were to say all the things that I was able to pick up for people. And so I turned it into people pleasing because that way I didn't actually have to talk. I didn't have to reveal anything that I knew. I could just people please my way through life. And so that way I could make sure that I went to the least regulated nervous system in the room, made that person feel better, which made my nervous system feel safer. And that turned into like people pleasing habits that carried me through my teens and my 20s and into my first marriage. See what I did there? I'm not remarried yet, but Just putting it out there.
Oh, yeah. If anyone wants a hot date, Brenda's free this weekend. Let's go.
That's right. Let's go. Let's go. But so I resonate with what you say about the people pleasing because, whether you come from a family of like really solid, loving relationships, or you come from a family with a little bit more chaos, or maybe you have intuitive abilities and no one else in your family did, you can you can learn to people please by accident because that's what we're taught in our society.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just letting that go, So there's been very little people pleasing in my life over the last few months. Yeah.
Me too. Me too.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
occasionally I'll have the awareness, especially when I come to groups that maybe I was in like 5, 6, 7 years ago before I did a lot of this personal work, and I can feel in my body that the way I'm responding is unfamiliar to them and they almost don't know what to do. Because
Mm.
I remember a moment when someone said to me, "Well, you know the reason we ask you?" And I was like, "No, I don't." And the person said, "Because you always say yes."
Mm.
And in
Yeah.
that moment, it was meant as a compliment. It was meant to be like, "We know you're there for the team." But the way that I took it was, "Oh, they know I'm not gonna tell them no. So I'm an
Yeah.
easy yes." So I
Mm.
redesigned my yeses. So I had to learn to say a lot of no's.
Yeah, there's a lot of no's now, but, yeah, it's good.
I love that. So as we kinda come to a close, I have a question, which is, what is one thing you either did or did not do that has led you to your yes-filled life?
Oh, there's a lot of things recently that I've said yes to that has brought me to where I am now, and when I look back and in some respects, I'm living the same life. I'm in the same place. We live in a beautiful part of the world. I'm with the same husband, two beautiful kids, but my life feels so different. Um, there's so much joy, there's so much gratitude, there's so much love. My time doing things I love, getting rewarded for doing them. I spend it with people whose company I enjoy. So there's been a massive shift internally, and for me, it's just about infusing my life with all the things that are good and removing all the things that didn't serve me. So bad habits, perhaps like the people pleasing, limiting beliefs. The list is fairly extensive. So I just done a reshuffle and I removed anything and everything that wasn't making the cut, and I filled it with everything that brings me joy. Should that be events, relationships, more time with my husband, um, God, breath work, horses, equine, yeah, all the good stuff. And it feels good. I am most of the time um, in this beautiful, joyous state. And
Mm, I can
I like
attest to that.
yeah, I know. I like being here, and it's a lovely and I think the thing is that I believe that this is available to everyone. This is
Mhm,
not something special to me, that I have grabbed hold of. This the connection with your breath, the connection to God, you know, using your intuition to make better decisions, to redesign your life. This is available to absolutely anyone and everyone that wants it. Um, yeah, that's the key part.
mm.
Um,
I agree. It's a
yeah,
choice. It's choosing to live a joyful life, which means a willingness to say no to the things that don't feel good.
yeah. And I think for me, initially, it's about slowing down and connecting with yourself so that you can make that decision. I would say, honestly, I was a bit tired and stressed and a bit numbed out in life. So it's getting to know yourself better so that you can make that decision. does this bring me joy? Does this not bring me joy? Um, yeah,
Mhm.
and there's a discernment that comes in there when you better know yourself. You can better
Mm,
serve yourself, you can better love yourself, you can start realizing that you can create the life that you desire.
100%. I love that. Caroline, where can people connect with you?
Oh, yeah, I like to stay quite hidden. Um, you're gonna have to look to find me. I just believe that those people that want to work with me will find me. Probably best. A lot of the corporate work I fall under my husband's business, which is Gibson Hallmark. Um, yeah, and I am in the process of doing a website. So when I get round to that, I will um for sure share it. Yeah.
Mm. I'm just so honored to have you on the podcast, to have you in my life, to have you as my friend. And, your joy is contagious. Your joy makes it easy to be in a joyful state. So thank you for doing the work that you're doing in the world. It's making a difference to a lot of lives.
Oh, Brenda, I so receive that. And I just love our relationship. I love the way we've jumped in so deep and we've just got each other. I love your breath work. I love your feelers. I love everything we do together. And life's getting exciting and I'm there for all of it. Yeah.
I'm here for it. Oh my gosh, cheering you on.
Yeah. You too.
Thank you. Isn't Caroline amazing? I just love her. One of the things I appreciate about her so much is how she just is able to release any resistance about what she wants. And that is the key to really creating a life that you love. So, invitation to consider how you can release any resistance. Now, when I say resistance, what I mean is when you want something, but you consider what happens if you don't get that thing? That's resistance. So let's say, for example, you want to apply for this new job, but you keep thinking about what will happen if you don't get the job. When you activate both sides of that, that's called resistance. So, invitation to think in your own life, how can you release some resistance around the things that you want in order to create a life that is more aligned with what you really, really deeply desire? Be sure you follow Caroline on Instagram at Caroline Gibb. That's Caroline, Caroline Gib 146. And I will put her email and her website in the show notes. And she told me that she has free sessions for the first 10 people to email her. So if you want to try out a session with Caroline, email her by clicking the email link in the show notes. Also, be sure that you take a look at the free masterclass and breathwork, Your Next Chapter, Navigating or Creating Change, which is going to be live on April 12th from 9 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, and there will be a replay. So if you're listening to this and you listen after the live masterclass, you can still catch the replay. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, would you please consider leaving the podcast a rating or a review? It's one of the most helpful things you can do to support the podcast. And if you loved this episode, would you please consider sharing it with someone you care about? Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now. Until next time.